is our Digital Academy Directors meeting for March 7th of 2023. As always, slide 2 has our attendance. Make sure that you are filling that out so that way you get your certificate for your hours after our meeting has concluded. And I'll leave that QR up if anybody needs it for in the room. I have the link to the slides in the front too. Were you able to grab that? You still need the slides? Or would you like the slides?
I would.
Okay, I'll go back to. I didn't. That's what we were just talking about. I've been pulled in a million different directions and I forgot to send it out. I'm sorry. So it sure is. So it's just bit.ly/dads0307.
Got it.
All right. And then slide 2 has your attendance and slide 3 has our agenda. So this is what we're up to today. First off, we'll just kind of buzz through some reminders where you can find some things. Section 2, we'll talk a little bit about sharing if anybody has anything that they would like to bring up to the group. Really light on vendor content this month. Not really a whole lot new has come through, so we'll just take a moment there. If anybody has anything good, we'll do show and tell. And then I have a little bit for you regarding AI in education. Okay. First off, we want to welcome everybody. It looks like a bunch of returning guests here in the room with us and on the call. But for anybody who is watching new, I'm Matthew Mays. I'm the Educational Technology Curriculum Consultant here at the ESC. And very happy to be with you today. For all of your Digital Academy needs, we have our website. That's bit.ly/startescdads. It has all kinds of great things, including archives of all of our meetings. So if you need slides or if you need video recordings, that's where you can all find it. I also have vendor help guides and a bunch of other good things for you on that site as well. Notably, something new finishing up at my desk as we speak is the video render from when Edmentum came to visit. That was on February 9th. So look for that here later today. That will be on YouTube for everybody to watch. Met with our new rep for Edmentum, and they walked us through the whole product with all kinds of different things, talked about some new features. So that's really, really cool. I took notes for that session too for anybody who was not able to attend. So you can see all of those things on our website. And like I said, that video will be posted here after the conclusion of this meeting. Okay. All right. So before we go any further, you obviously came to this meeting for a reason. So if anyone has any problems of practice or any questions that they want to pose to the group, now is a wonderful time to make that happen. Anybody here in the room have questions for anybody else? Or Karen on the call, if you have anything.
I don't have anything right now.
Good. Anybody else? I was gonna say Chris. I was gonna say Chris and I have been talking about a grading issue with Edmentum. The grade book isn't popping over for his district for Southeast. So yeah, we've been talking about that a little bit and trying to get resolution for it. But
did you notice the email from Agilix that Thomas Collette?
I did.
Because he said they're looking for another ESC to partner with. They're creating courses in it. So I don't know if anybody's interested in that, but we might want to share that out with them.
Yeah. So yeah, I can send that out as a part of an email too. But yeah, we have another ESC who's reached out basically to try and partner on creating. Like I got the impression that it was like from scratch, right?
Yeah, they've got 30 to 40 done. They plan to have 70 courses.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely.
What is the?
Hmm?
What is the?
I can pull up the email to you.
What are they creating it in?
In Buzz.
Oh, in Buzz.
Yeah. Fairfield? Is that it? Let's see. Yeah.
So share this here. So this is the email that Jay is referencing. I can pop it into an email, or I can pop it onto our website. Basically, they are working with Fairfield, that's the team at Agilix, Buzz, to write up 30 to 40 courses that they have already built. And they have intent on creating 70, and they want to partner up with other ESCs to help create those other courses. So if anyone is interested in that opportunity, I could definitely explore that further for us. But yeah, I'm fairly certain that's like authoring the course from scratch. So
That's what it sounded like.
yeah, so we can definitely explore that further if anybody is interested in that. I'll pop that in here. Okay. Yeah, we can definitely definitely see what they have going on, or at least what their intent is with those classes. Once they are complete. So definitely something good to keep in mind. All right, so back on our slides here, if there are no other questions or problems of practice, does anyone have anything happening in their district? Could be Digital Academy related, could just be some other cool fun thing that they want to share. Nothing interesting. All right, well, we will just breeze right along. I got our vendor page, just like what we usually do here. I'll pop that up in just a moment as soon as it loads. As always, you have the contact information for all of our vendors. This slide not only exists here, but it's also on our website. So you can click different names and be taken directly to your email to contact them for all of the various products that are at ESC and that Spark has going on currently. So just notable from our last meeting, if you weren't with us in January and you're in Edmonton district, we have a new rep for that. It's Barbara Hickey. And Edmonton, remember, is kind of that big conglomeration for courseware for Plato and I got the vibe that they are not done. When I was talking with them last month, that like they're just collecting them all up like they're Infinity Stones if you're a Marvel nerd. But they, I think, have aspirations. Edmonton has aspirations to kind of be the biggest player in the market. So, so we'll see what happens in that regard too. Okay. This was a slide that they shared during that time, and just wanted to kind of pop it in here as well, so that you can kind of see what those great bands look like. If you are a district who is interested in what Edmentum has to offer, but I like seeing those different grade bands that we can kind of see which which individual products might have or so. If you know that you're interested in something else, or you're looking for other alternative,
Oh, that's actually a good thing.
then you might be able to check this out. Okay. Any other product updates that anybody's seen roll through? It's been pretty light across my inbox for last month or two. Back on our slides, like I said, nothing really new coming through on product. So if that does change, and I think it's notable, I'll pop it into our email group. That way you can all get the things that you need in a timely manner. And then this is just my own shout out to you. If you know of changes that are coming, it's kind of ramping or scaling down to the end of our year. We have testing coming up, obviously, and then all of a sudden to that it's summer. So if you know of things that are changing within your district and that involves either the ESC or involves Spark, and you think it's something that we should know about or that we can help you to navigate, please let me know. That way it's not, the middle of the summer and you're not getting the service that you are after. So so that we can prevent any interruptions, make sure that you're letting us know if any of those things are. Okay. Show and tell time. Does anyone have anything fun that they've seen in the last month and a half, 2 months that they want to share with the rest of the group? Could be a cool website or an article. Could be a cool dog that you saw while you were out walking. All right, so I directed you to 2 different areas. First off is GEG Ohio. If you're not a part of it and you would like to be, there's a link there. And then Eric Kurtz has been doing a weekly series that I think is pretty cool. He's basically calling it his EdTech Links of the Week. So it's usually 4 or 5 different items that have come across his desk. And then every Monday night, he kind of does like a little webisode to show those off. So if you're interested in that, then you could click that orange link there and that will take you to his website to see all of those wonderful resources. From me, a couple things here next week actually is Neotech. So this is put on by NeoNet, which is based out of Cuyahoga Falls. It's free. There are a bunch of wonderful sessions that will be part of this conference. You'll see all the different conference themes over on the right. I'm going to be there speaking. I have 2 different presentations that I'm doing. So if you're interested in going, it's actually at the NeoNet office there in Cuyahoga Falls, which is a really nice facility. So if you're there or if you're planning to go, look for me and we can definitely say hey as we're there. Also coming up, and this one is a little bit more timely if you want to save some money. But the Google conference, the Google Summit is coming up in May. That's May 16th, 17th. It's held at Kalahari, and the deadline for that early bird pricing is on March 11th, which is this weekend. So if you're hoping to save money for that trip, that's 10% discount also for teams of 4 or more. But that early bird pricing ends this weekend. So definitely make sure you're to get on it if you have not already. In February, we had OETC. Did anybody go to OETC this year? And so with that, I will share one of those. So I'm a part of a whole bunch of different groups of nerds. And one of those groups is GEG Ohio, which I just spoke of. But this is a document that was created out of GEG Ohio. So basically it was, anybody who's at the conference and a part of GEG Ohio and wants to contribute to this document, you can put in your own information. Like people will be able to see like when you're going to be there if you want to meet up with other people. And then they have populated a whole resource bank. So I'm just going to shout out Kim Knighty from North Canton. You see her information here. And then this is the slide deck that she used. So if you weren't able to attend that session, like that was on a day that I was not there, I was still able to come in here, click on her link, and then see all of her slides and really kind of get a feel for what that session would have been like had I been there. So like I said, it's this I think is one of the best things that has come out of the last couple of years is communities are getting smarter about how they're sharing information. And these kind of resource documents are definitely the fruit of those relationships and those partnerships. The one right next to it, I really, really love. So this was created by Stephanie Howell. She's a GEG Ohio leader, but also does some stuff on the side. It's called Gold Edu. So you can find her online for all kinds of other things. But what I liked about this is she has the categories in the center. So you can see like, oh, okay, this was a session on, or bless you, this was a session on design with motivation in mind. And it is based on the idea of instruction. Here's that presenter, here's that slides link. And then they even have in some of these instances, like actual note-taking information, so where it says like additional information. This is from a person who's like sitting in the room taking their own notes. So like I said, just a really wonderful way to share all kinds of information. All of the things that are on here, every category is linked to a different slide deck. So like this is mine on here. If you click this, then you'll see the slides that I shared for the conference as well. So it's just a nice, easily organized way to, get the conference experience without actually being at the conference. And then in this informal conversations area, this is just where people like saw a cool thing or heard about something and wanted to pop it in there too. So that's just what this the second sheet is all about. So like I said, just a really wonderful way for people to communicate. One of the most important things, and one of the things that I actually talked about at a morning meetup was like what to do now. So now that we have all of these wonderful things, like how do I get it to the right people back in district? So that's what those slides are at the bottom too, where it says how to share what you learn at conferences. Those are slides that I put together and spoke about, I think on Wednesday morning of the conference. So really good time. I think it's only going to get better. So if this year's experience wasn't quite what you were looking for, I would say at least come back next year when they have a full year under their belt to, fully plan and execute the conference. So, but yeah, look for good things from OETC in the future. I already talked about Kim Knighty being there. These are other people from our area that I know of that presented at the conference. Most notably, shout out to the mobile storyteller. If you're on the vendor floor, that giant semi-looking bus, that is from the kids in North Canton. That's their mobile storyteller bus, which is really cool. Just loaded with all kinds of tools that help them do video production, really on the spot interviews and all kinds of other wonderful things. So shout out to everybody presenting. Anyone who is on the call or in the room here ever thinking about presenting, let me know. We can collaborate on something and make that happen for you. My favorite thing about presenting is that 99% of the time they get you free entry to a conference too. So I will be at the Google conference, the Google Summit, but I'm not paying a single thing because I'm doing a session. So it's a really, really great way to collaborate with your friends, in other districts or in other areas, and a really great way to kind of fill your own bucket as you're presenting and getting to see all the other wonderful sessions. So lots of good stuff. Any other questions or any other shares before we kick it to our last part of the conversation?
One thing that they shared with me at the FETC conference was I've used the web.archive.org for the Wayback Machine, but I had no idea how much other stuff was in there, with tons and tons of free books and videos and music and all kinds of amazing things that are in there that I never explored before. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool. How about let's pop that into, let me jump back here. We'll pop that into the share space. That way, if anybody else wants to grab it, they can. And then do you know the link or the name off the top of your head, Jay?
It's web.archive.org.
All right. Give it the old hyperlink here. That way, if anybody else on the call in the future wants to check it out, then
Oh, and formulabot.com. Have you seen that one before?
formula.com.
Formulabot.com. It's it'll transform your text instructions into Excel formulas, or you can paste in an Excel formula and it will explain what the formula does.
Cool. Very cool. I'm popping that line in here too. I help if I didn't have an extra R in there, huh? Formulabot.com.
Yes. You have to register on that site, but it's free to,
Yeah, let's check it out. All right, so like Jay was saying, if I'm just taking this example over here, so they put in basically what they were looking for, and then I'm sure AI behind the scenes said, oh, if that's what you want, pop this thing in and it'll work it out for you. That's
yeah,
really, really slick. Really slick. And then did you say that was free?
yes, you have to register, but you'll see,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah,
With
let me
help
look
of
on the
AI for
pricing.
free.
There's a, where you can do 5 formula requests per month for free. And then unlimited looks like it's $6.99.
mhm.
Very, very cool. Very cool. Good share. Thanks, Jay. Sam, we'll jump over here to webarchive.com too. All right, so that gives us the Wayback Machine.
And then you see up at the top, it has millions of free books, videos, music, all kinds of stuff,
Very,
nonprofit.
yeah, very cool. Are the videos like documentaries?
I didn't explore them yet. I don't remember. They were showing us samples of it, but
Does that download them or does it just let you play them or read the books on their site? Like you can't like obtain it and keep it. Is it
right,
It's like a library type thing where
yes.
Very interesting. You can watch the Dark Side and learn about the Ultimate Warrior.
Yes.
Very good. I used to like him when I was.
Yeah, me too. I had like the little plush doll that. I can't be the only one that had it. You know which one I'm talking about? Where it'd be like the little pillow looking guy where then you're
Yeah.
supposed to wrestle with him.
Yeah.
Love that thing. Love them. All right, cool. 2 awesome places. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate you sharing that. All right, so as we go into our final section here, I know we mentioned it a little bit at our previous meeting, so that one in January, but I really, have been thinking about this a lot, and I've been speaking with a couple of different districts about it. And I just kind of wanted to put all of the things that I have acquired into one place, so that's where I created this deck called Generative AI for Educators. We're not going to go over all of the slides because I don't think we really need to do that. I'm not going to, over elaborate because we've already spoken about it. But essentially, the eyeballs that were driven to, what is happening with AI thanks to ChatGPT has kind of blown the doors off of, what is possible, and it's kind of made all of those things mainstream. So, the things that we are learning, our kids already know. And so it's kind of one of those things where we need to get ourselves up to speed as much as possible in, the shortest amount of time so we can kind of get a handle on everything that's happening. So, I've kind of framed the conversation not just about ChatGPT, even though that's like your name brand. That's kind of like the Kleenex of tissues. This is GPT is the name brand that people are jumping onto. But I wanted to open it up to just be more of like generative AI. So I put something into a search, or I put something in to whatever the product is, and then it generates a whole bunch of content for me. So basically, generative AI can do 3 different things. So it can generate stuff from scratch. If we're looking at it from an educational perspective, we're talking things like, summaries and presentations and worksheets and quizzes and artwork and all kinds of other crazy things. We're also seeing language support. So not just, can you correct my misspellings, but can you write this 3-page paper for me? And to that, it will, do the thing as well. And then, it's also about personalization. So you can customize it to target specific sets of kids. Where you say, like, I want, write a summary of Charlotte's Web as if I were a 2nd grader, and it could do that using, 2nd grade words. So lots of really interesting things to consider. What I wanted to do was kind of provide some different examples. So that's what you'll see here. Basically, what I did was I went to GPT. Again, that's just, the most known at the moment, or the one that's the buzziest at the moment. and I put the prompts that you see on the screen into GPT, and then I just put the results here on Doc. So if you're someone who's never seen these, how GPT operates or what is possible, I wanted to kind of contextualize that. So that's where I created all these different documents. So for this one, I said, I'm teaching science to a 12-year-old student with a visual impairment. What are some activities I could do with this student or to help this student learn about planets in our solar system? And so that's the only thing that I put in, and GPT generated all of this stuff for me, which is really, really cool. Super duper helpful, cuts to the chase, saved me a whole bunch of time as the teacher. But the important thing to keep in mind is with all of these examples, like we still need the teacher, or we still need someone in charge to be the authority on, what is actually being presented. So we can't just, copy out of whatever that generative AI is and paste it and off we go. It's limited. It still doesn't have that human touch or that finesse. So we can't just, take it for fact. Because what we do know about the items that are out there currently is that they are capable of lying. They will speak as if it is true, and there are all kinds of falsehoods. One of the examples that I've seen, they would say, write a book report about the dog by the lake by Jim Smith. And that's not a real book. It's not a real author. But it'll generate stuff for you as if it were real, and believe that what they're putting, or the computer believes that what it is putting out there is fact, which is kind of trippy and a weird mind space to be in. So essentially, just kind of what I wanted everybody to know is that this is not going away. It's only going to improve over time, but that there are a whole bunch of tools out there to help you. Just to help frame the conversation as to where things are going with generative AI. In the last month, we saw Microsoft, they did their $10 billion investment with Bing. Nobody's using Bing, but they now have a ChatGPT button on Bing. So I put my question in if I would rather talk to, ChatGPT's, bot. I can click that and have that conversation with them there. So it's fully baked in. I don't need to go somewhere else. It's just baked into the Bing software, or to the Bing search rather. And then we should be seeing Bard make its way to Google search here very, very, very soon. When I spoke with some people at OETC, they basically said we are just a few weeks away from it popping up. They have said, and I tend to believe it, but they've said that they've been working on this for a few years now, but because GPT came out and kind of blew the roof off of everything, they have expedited their rollout. So I think we're going to see Bard in a couple of different versions pretty early on. So we'll see a stripped down version just to kind of make its way out there for people to get used to it and see what it's like. And then we'll see it, improve over time and have even more things built into it. So look for those different versions of Bard. It's currently being tested by what Google calls their trusted users, which is basically their employees. So that's kind of one of the memes that's going around online right now, especially by all the people that work at Google, is basically they're training their replacements. So kind of an odd way to think about it for them as well. But definitely be on the lookout for Bard. That should be making its way out to you. If you're looking to, how can I work with this in my classroom, or how can I work with this with students? Adaptability is your greatest asset. So it's really difficult for us when we get in the swing of things, when we see, we're reusing lessons over time, and it's just nice and it's easy and it's comfortable, but we really have to start rethinking our lessons and our assignments. So making them much more multimodal, where it's not just, I give you a question, you respond with a whole bunch of words, and then we move on to the next one. That's not going to cut it anymore. So trying to think of different activities, and I've given you a couple examples here too. Anything that you see that is underlined is a link, so you can jump off to those different examples. reconsidering our approach to grading is also going to be very important. You can obviously read what the research says there. I'm not gonna, sit up here on my soapbox and tell you what to do, because obviously our circumstances here with digital academies are a little bit different too. So take that for what it is. And then last but not least, like, we just have to use this as a tool rather than, like I said, that end all be all, just fount of knowledge. So letting our kids know that we know about it and how we're using it, and that it is just a tool. It's not, this thing that's going to take over everything, is really, really important. This slide here is the one that basically is the whole reason why I wrote all of the other slides previous to it. So instead of just sharing out a doc with a whole bunch of links to it, I wanted to make something kind of nice and pretty. So that way I could contextualize all the bookmarks that I've been making over the last couple months. I split these up into 3 different categories. So the first one is read more, then learn more, and finally do more. So in read more, I've given you a couple different resources that you can read about, generative AI and GPT in particular, from some really great sources, including Eric. His is there almost at the bottom left corner, and AI wrote this blog post. A lot of conversation is going to come about with, is using generative AI, is that plagiarism? How much am I allowed to use of their words before all of a sudden it's not my work anymore? I think of that as a really fine line too, as we look at like state testing. Obviously the kids aren't going to be able to use these kinds of tools while they're doing their state testing, but as we think about the amount of information that they can pull from a text over into their own writing, I think this is a great place to start to think about that. In Learn More, I wanted to give you a few different kind of tools to help learn a little bit more. So I've given you a couple different writing checks, a couple different detectors. By no means are they perfect, because again, we can ask AI to write more like a human and it'll do it. And we can very easily, kind of make our way around some of those detectors, but I at least wanted you to know what was out there. And then last, over here in Do More, these are just some different examples of where we see generative AI or some really cool tools that are out there. I'm a big Canva user. Canva has what they call Magic Write, where you can basically tell it what you're looking for and it will assist you as you are writing your paragraph like magic. They also have text to image, which is really fun. So you put in, some kind of image that you're thinking of. They frame it as like, whatever you dream you can see. So just for fun, I would put things in like Abraham Lincoln riding a T-Rex, eating a sub sandwich, and it'll create that picture, which is really, really fun and trippy.
Is that free?
Yeah. Yep. So Canva is free for educators. It's free for everybody, but if you use an education account, if you get verified as an educator, you get everything. So some of the tools are, I don't want to say behind a paywall, but they're like premium features. If you sign in as an educator, if you get verified as an educator, then you get all of the premium features, including Magic Write, including text to image, including all the other wonderful things that Canva has to offer. Okay. A couple others that are out there, Conquer, Parlay, and then I'll just show you this one here, this hotspot generator. This one is really, really cool too. I'll click on this example and then just kind of show you. So this is obviously, let me pop this up here. This is Ariana Grande. Basically, they said, like, give us a bunch of different pictures of you, and then we will generate, or we will be able to kind of see you from a whole bunch of different perspectives to create these images. So the only thing that was done by humans here was like taking different pictures of Harrison Ford or Morgan Freeman, and then the computer took it over from there. So these are all computer generated images. You can see over on the side, this is another silly example. Like I can see an astronaut. It looks like he's riding a horse in space. But this is all, done with the help of generative AI. So Hotpot is kind of a really cool space to make all this happen. You're manipulating art and allowing the computer to kind of take over for you to generate really cool things. So yeah, this is by no means exclusive. There are a whole bunch of other places online that are using AI in really fun and creative ways. So just the ones that I thought would be pretty accessible to everyone appear here on that slide. So does anyone have any comments or anybody have anything they want to talk about with AI? Have you been seeing it in use with your kids or?
I've heard kids mention like producing something with AI, but just in passing like. So yeah, I know they're using it.
Yeah.
I've been playing around with ChatGPT since our last meeting.
Mhm.
You can do a lot, like, I was practicing foreign language with it and it talk to you and like you can say, give me a simple sentence and whatever, and then you can ask it, did I get, or you put what you think it is and it'll tell you if you got it right or give you like what you need to fix and whatever.
Yep, very cool. So you can do, flashcards, you can do, ask it for games, you can do, writing summaries where if, you have a huge amount of text, you can paste it in there and say, summarize this into one paragraph and it'll do it for you. And, you kind of catch, all the beats along the way, which is really fun. So, long story short, it's not going anywhere. It's going to improve and it's going to be something that we have to have conversations with our kids about, just like all the other things that we've seen, come our way in the last, what would that be, 25 years or so since computers have, really become a big thing in classrooms.
I've used it to write letter of recommendation for students.
I did.
Just put in the kid's name and things they're involved in, and it's really fast.
Wow.
It does a great job
Yes.
quickly.
Yes. I have done that and I have the template like ready to go for myself for the same thing. And it's not that we're, doing that disingenuously, but you have a million things going on. You want to help this kid. Here's this stuff, pop it in. I like it as a starting place, if nothing
Yeah.
else. So like, just give me the thing and then I'll tweak it from there. That's much
That's all
easier.
I have to do, yeah.
So yeah, it's like buying a greeting card, like you read it and you feel like that message is from you, and put your name on it.
Right.
Same idea.
Yep, I really like that frame. I think I hadn't thought about it that way, but that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
I think teachers are probably, it's gonna get to the point where if you wanna be sure that you're assessing their writing and their knowledge, you're gonna have to say, okay, all devices away, we're gonna do this with like the blue books, like the old fashioned way, get out a pencil.
Yeah, so I think there's opportunity to, it all comes down to getting to know your kids. So early on in the school year, I need you to produce, a couple different things of writing. That way I get a feel for what you're capable of when, the kid turns, something unbelievable in later on in the year. And they've only been able to write, just a few things for you that, mostly doesn't make any sense and has a whole bunch of errors, then you're going to be able to spot that difference. So, it's that multimodal thinking, multimodal assessment, asking them to do more than just, respond back in a brief paragraph or whatever.
I wonder if ChatGPT can tell you if ChatGPT wrote something like if you just copied and pasted it in there.
Interesting. Yeah, I haven't,
ChatGPT probably write this.
yeah. I don't know. I haven't thought about that one. What I do know is, sometimes, like if you and I put the exact same prompt in, sometimes we'll get the same answer. But if I'm, a crafty student, I can say, rewrite this in a different way and it'll change it up. So me being the kid, like I always think about like who are my kids that color outside the lines, right? If I were to be a student who wanted to use this, I'd do that 2 or 3 times and then I'd submit that thing. So I'd say, write a paragraph about Abraham Lincoln's presidency. And I'd say, write this in a different way, let it produce it, write this in a different way, let it produce it, grab that and submit. Just for, if nothing else, then that's at least like 3 layers deep of something different. Whereas if I put it in once, there's a likelihood that you and I may have the same thing, or that me and another student in the class may have the same thing. But I'd like to think that if I ask it a few different times, that I would get something different than what everybody else had. So, I don't know. It, is definitely something that we're gonna have to get a handle on, pretty quickly because, whether it's ready or not, all the different apps and whatnot that I was sharing there before, whether those are ready for prime time or not, like our kids are using them. So you kind of get a handle and having those intelligent conversations with them, I think is really important. So any final thoughts, yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. If any other good ones come across my desk, then I will be more than happy to share them out. The one that I had on here, and give me just a moment to get back to it. If I'm not mistaken, this one here. I'll share the screen. This is a really cool one that I found specifically for teachers. This is called Conquer. It's by the same people that did Moat, if you're a Moat user, where you can use like actual audio, like embedded all over the place on different things. But you can have it generate all kinds of different things. So basically, like I want you to create a fill in the blank for grade 5 about, and then you can put any topic you want to. I'll just use one of theirs as sequoia trees and let it generate. And so it will then create this assessment for you in no time. Again, this isn't just a, copy paste and I put it out to my kids, but it gets the ball rolling for you, as the educator to do that thing. And then you can even have it hide the answers for you. So that way, as you copy it and paste it elsewhere, those will be out, and you're basically like creating your own little answer guide along with it. So really, really interesting way to think about it. To, like I said, nothing else, create a starting point for you to get the ball rolling. Okay. All right. For these meetings, I need your help. So if there's anything that you want to talk about, or if there's something that you're like, hey, can we take some time to talk about this as a group? Please, by all means, send those my way. We'll pop them into the agenda here and have those conversations as a big group. I would really, really appreciate it. And if there's nothing else, no other questions, that's it. I feel like it was kind of a quick one here today, but like I said, not much has changed in the last couple months. So
What have you been thinking as far as that other group that wants to get together to create courses?
I'll definitely explore it. The easiest thing, I don't know that I have time to create those courses right now, but we can obviously, come up and say like, yeah, we'll do X amount, or what kinds of things are you looking for? And I can pop that out onto our discussion board. That way we can kind of get a group of people together if anybody's interested in.
Or are they kind of thinking they might get a bunch of people together to create courses and then just have them available for any help out?
I think so. Is that the vibe that you're getting, Jay?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think it's worth exploring.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think it's a little bit more specific. So I don't know how many of you have been looking into or been involved with like the whole remote edX type thing the state is doing. Basically that is kind of how that vibe was, where it's like, oh, we want ESCs, meaning people in my role, like to partner with other ESCs to then create things that like everybody can use and work with. I don't get the vibe that that's what this opportunity is. But there's only one way to find out. So I can definitely reach out to them and see what they come back with. And then if that's something that we're interested in, then we can make that happen. If you have not done so already, make sure that you are logging your attendance. So that way you get your certificate. We will reconvene in 2 months. And I think that's our last one for the year. So if there's anything in the meantime that you think I can help out with, by all means, please feel free to reach out. For those of you who are in the room, make sure you grab snacks on your way out. It's a long drive home, even if it's 30 seconds away. And other than that, really appreciate everybody being on and being in person. And we will see you all in 2 months.